Hi, how's it going? This is Resident of Collinwood for YouTube, and I'm here to do a Dark Shadows video for you on this Saturday morning. Could the Collinsport fly be a plot device? Yeah, I mean, Dark Shadows had a lot of things happen in it, not just supernatural, but scientific. And this would be another scientific thing that they could pull off, where here's this fly, it's flying around, no one kills it, and we could see it go off the wall and start flying out of the house, whether it be the old house or the great house, and then that's where you would see this young teenager who invented the fly. And when it came back to him, it had been recording who it was listening to. Now, he didn't listen to the recording right away. In fact, I wouldn't have him listening to the recording till he was an old man. When we see the fly again in present day, and I'll tell you who I would have this be. And it would make sense because he was born in the 40s, so he would be alive in the 60s. That would be Tobin Bell. I would definitely have Tobin Bell be the person who built the fly and have this scientist who's just now hearing everything, all of it, and knows all the Collins family secrets. And it comes down to me, what do you do with all this information, right? Oh my god. But I mean, think about it. A fly comes onto the set and is bothering the actors, getting as close to them as possible. I I I gotta believe this concept crossed the writer's mind at least once. You've had to heard of the movie The Fly, so why not fictionally make a robotic fly, right? And that's the thing too. I always talk about how Mrs. Johnson was this super spy, and though that's a sort of fun thing we all like to say, you really don't know because she could be. And so if she's a spy, why wouldn't someone maybe be listening in by using a technological device such as they built this fly that could record people? It could, and maybe had a small camera lens within the eyes. So why not? Now, to be fair to Mrs. Johnson, could she be a part of that too? Sure, because here's the thing. Here's the one theory I always stand by. Harry Johnson wasn't really related to Mrs. Johnson. Harry Johnson was just somebody in training who Mrs. Johnson was training to be a spy, and they weren't a very good one. And here's why I say this: she literally treats her son like a redheaded stepchild, like Harry. And here, people, she says about his criminal record. Oh, and people do find out about it. I think that's just a cover. Like, and there's probably enough evidence of where maybe he went to prison, or it looks like he went to prison. It's really interesting to think like what other elements of maybe spies could be out there within the world of Dark Shadows, because if the Collinsport fly was built to listen and it just happened to listen to the Collins family, well, what other spy elements could be out there with Dark Shadows? Because maybe one of Judah Zachary's cult members built the fly. Maybe they're just out there, because it's not like we know who each and every single member of the cult was. It's not like we jotted down names and stuff or saw every member. No, there could be other members out there. Maybe they're in a position of power. Maybe they work for the government. Again, you could apply the same thing for like the Leviathan or um, Maybe Patofi had someone else working for him we just didn't know about. It's hard to say. So when you think about the Collinsport Fly and it being built by somebody, it's not as far fetched as it sounds. Yes, I swear. Now, if they would have killed that fly, no, game over. There's no story. Could there have been other sort of devices built to listen to the Collins family? Sure. I'm trying to think of, maybe, who knows? Maybe their telephone was tapped and they just didn't know it. I mean, would they know it? Seriously, would they know their line was being tapped? Look, the house, the okay, obviously not the old house. The old house didn't have electricity, so we can't put a phone in there, right? So there's a phone in the great house, the house on top Widow's Hill. There's times the drawing room is left wide open and, the house looks empty and there might be only one or two people in it. Who's to say somebody didn't sneak in and tap the phone? Like, you don't know. That's how crazy it is because of how big the house is. I mean, there were just times you would see just Elizabeth or just Carolyn in the house, or just Mrs. Johnson. They can't guard the entire house. It's large, and Mrs. Johnson has stuff to do, so she can't just sit around one room. Or there's Carolyn, who sometimes she would sit in the drawing room, or sometimes she would be out on the grounds, like Victoria. And Vicky herself would be either out on the grounds or doing something with David. So again, there's a lot of room for possibility of someone being able, outside of Mrs. J, Mrs. Johnson, the OG spy of Collinsport, there's a lot of opportunity for someone to spy on the Collins family, really, or to plant a device to spy on them. Not just the Collinsport Fly either, but the Collinsport Fly definitely could be a plot device, or could have been, depending on what they would do with it. Um, that's all I got for you guys this morning. I think it's real fascinating, to me, that there is a potential for these things that could have happened. Just because we don't see it doesn't mean it didn't. That's something I've always taken away from, like, stories and stuff, like watching movies or TV. But hope you guys enjoy your Saturday and enjoy your weekend. Have a great, great weekend.